Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage YouTube channel. We are today going to test the Singer 99K to see, in fact, if it is ready to sew. Is it going to work? It has been waiting years, I suspect quite a few decades, for a service that it needed, because those of you who know the great consumer items of the analog world, whether it was a radio or whether it was a television or a mixer or whatever it was, in this case sewing machines, they are built with a level of quality and longevity we don't see today, but they do require maintenance. That's part of the deal. So what am I going to do? I'm going to start. I've got two layers of, no, I've got more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 layers of a medium weight cotton canvas feeling material here, and we're going to test it out there, right? Got to crawl before we can walk, etc. And then I'm going to add more. Not to be sensational, but I want to show you why, when it comes to a top-loading machine, this is about as strong as it gets. Whether it's the 99, the 66, the 185, you cannot really get a stronger home sewing machine in a top-loading bobbin other than these models. These are the high water mark. To get a stronger machine, you have to go to a side-loading bobbin, and they have their pros and cons, just like this one does. All right. Alrighty. Do we have any light? Our light works. Yes. Our brand new LED light. Hey. But I don't need it today because I have daylight, which I prefer. All right. Let's see. All right, everyone. Here goes nothing. And I can even adjust up top here. I can adjust my pressure. I had raised this adjustment on the presser bar to get it oiled, and I'll push down a little bit on it. We can adjust it as needed. Okay, and what do we have? We have want to make sure our stitch length is set on longest stitch. Always like to test that first, because I want all of you to see the stitch, and it's easier to see a long than a short stitch. Okay. See what we got here. Oh wow! You hear how nice and quiet that motor is? It was making such groaning sound. Look at the slow control, and that's with a traditional button style carbon pile. I'm going to be adjusting my belt tension. It's a little loose, but that's okay. And then I'm going to do back tacking. And right now I'm just wanting to test the stitch. See what is it balancing? Does it need adjusting? And that's normal. You will see that anytime you have a sewing machine, you may need to adjust your tensions because you changed fabrics, or you're changing fabric density, fabric weight, and you know what? I swear I don't deserve credit for this. This machine is incredible. Oh, I'm going to make another run here, and then we're going to look at it. I'm going to, actually I may even adjust my tension dial just a bit, up just under 4, between 3 and 4. And then I'm going to shorten my stitch. And just snugging in my lever there. And you'll know you're getting that shorter stitch in part because the fabric is feeding, but a little more slowly. It has more stitches to make. All right. All right, folks, moment of truth. Let's see. How did I do? Or how did the machine do? It's the machine that deserves credit. All right, got thread coming over here. And what's going on over here? Let's see. You guys, I've talked to you about thread. Thread can get wild on you, so you have to keep up with it. Why is this here? Don't know why that's... Okay, that was a piece of thread got caught. All right, here we go. And this is a piece of fabric I've used before. That's all right. Look at that. This is the bright green thread. That's the top stitch that I just did. Beautifully balanced. No loops. I'm not getting any puckering. Here it is where I actually, you can see where I had the long stitch. And long is only so long on a machine of this vintage. And look at that fine short stitch, right? Now, on this side, I have, there's red, but there's also like a pink thread, and that's the thread underneath. So we'll see it on You'll see it on here, right where my thumb is. I know that's hard to see, guys. Bear with me because I'm gonna cover it with a clean piece of fabric. And the tension itself looks fine to me. So, all right, I'm going to take my fabric piece and I'm going to, that was that was 4 layers. There's 5, 6, 7, and I want to get 8. 7 seems like an odd thing to do. Let's see if I can get it just so. I didn't bother to iron my sample here. A lot of you will have your fabrics ironed when you're sewing with them. All right, I've got 7, and I've got 8 layers here, right? You guys can see, and the edge of the self edge here is right there, and that'll be just fine because I'm not going to do 6. I'm going to go straight to 8 layers, and if the machine doesn't like it, it will tell me. If you do this and your machine says, hey, I'm not fond of that, it'll speak to you. That's all right. You're not going to hurt it. You will get you and your machine will get to know each other, and that's part of the process of learning a new model. Just like when you get a new car, you're having to figure out how to drive that sucker. All right. Now, people will say, you may have heard people say before, if you can get it under the foot, you can sew it. Well, yes and no. Sorta, but not always. Okay. So one of the things I'm going to do here, I've got quite a thick layer here to go through. I'm going to loosen the pressure on the presser bar, which if I could tilt this up where you can see what I'm doing, just turning this knob to the left. The knob works perfectly fine now because I have lubricated and serviced it, which is what it was waiting for. All right, put your lever back down. Okay. Now I loosened that to give a little more area, but I think I'm at my max. Now that's got to be at least 1/4 inch, if not more. When you get to that point, it's like if you've ever tried to eat a triple-decker sandwich, that's what the machine is going to do. So what are we doing? We have a jeans needle here. That's very important. And we're going to start, I always recommend you start with your needle down, okay? And I'm going to actually increase, I've got my belt tension a little too loose, which is fine. I was experimenting with that. And I need a little more tension because of what I'm doing here. What I think I'm going to be sewing. The machine is going to decide whether it wants to sew this. Now, I've got the needle down in the machine, and singers like to be spooled, right? What does that mean? It's almost like you have your hand on the hand wheel and you kind of, if you've ever started a lawnmower where you had to pull that cable and about pull your shoulder out, this is not that hard, but this is what we're doing. And I'm going to hit my foot pedal. All right, now I have it on the short stitch. I want to go back to my long stitch. I need that long stitch. Yeah, that's what I want. I want the longest stitch the machine will make, so we can take a look at that, okay? And I'm going slow, guys. I'm not going 100 miles an hour here. No, no, no. I'm even going to try to back tack. And we'll come over. This machine is having to chew on this sandwich, so it has the power, but you got to give it time. Let's not go crazy. Many of you don't sew that fast. And I need to spool, and that's pretty common with with vintage singers anyway. All right, we're going to make another row, and then we're going to take this out and see if I've gotten too confident too soon. All right, here we go. We're going to make another run. Again, you don't have to go super slow, although you can, but don't floor it, okay? Just a nice steady pace. Hold your fabric. Little back tack. All right. Now, you may even need to lift up slightly. Yeah, I don't think I want to go any thicker. Okay, and remember, these machines could do a lot. Now, let's see what we got. All right. I need to get this in the right light and hold it still for you guys. Okay, that's the top stitch. I did long stitch length. Then I turned around and you can see, sort of see, it actually hides it fairly well on this bright green. You can see the back tacking there. It locks the stitch in just fine. Now, what's on the other side? Look at that, guys. Look at that. The thread, the bobbin thread, is sort of a kind of a shrimpy pink color. And you can see it's a balanced stitch. And I mean, what did I do? I made a very slight adjustment on my tension. In fact, I was just eyeballing this because when you're first getting your machine going, you're going to find it's going to want to be in a certain place. So right now it's slightly on 4. Usually between 3 to 4 is a good starting place. You may have to go lower or higher. So there you go. 8 layers of medium weight cotton. I'd say that's not too shabby for a machine that was left abandoned for a couple of decades, and even the motor came back. That doesn't always happen. I got lucky. The motor just needed some overdue lubrication. This is a great example, everyone, to the testament of vintage machines. Please remember that these are not industrial machines. You will sometimes see people on YouTube saying, hey, this is an industrial machine, or you can use it in place of one. No, you cannot. You should not. You will not like that. The machine won't either. The reason people sometimes confuse these with industrials is because they're heavy. They're made of metal and they're tough. This thing, I've often called this machine the tractor, and I think it just earned that right. It earned the place of tractor. But always respect the limits of any device you have, right? Whether it's a cake mixer or a sewing machine. But within that, I think let's just say there aren't too many new machines. There may be some. Aren't too many new sewing machines for the home that can do what this machine just did, and it didn't really complain. So, mighty things come in small packages, as they say. Thank you all again for supporting this channel over the years, and if you have not, please consider subscribing to the channel. And also, all of the videos have links on them to buy me a coffee. I would so appreciate it if you would please consider supporting the channel with a donation. You can buy 1 coffee or 2 or 3, or you can buy tons more if you wish. But your efforts at donating will help me because I need to continue to fund the rescue of these machines. They almost never come free. People charge for them, very often not knowing how much effort it takes to bring them back. But I am pretty confident that this machine has a long future ahead of it, and it's very rewarding. And I think those of you who have been able to bring your own machines back, or maybe you've taken on the hobby of rescuing machines and finding new owners for them, you know the feeling, what it feels like to bring something back that was meant to last. Heirloom quality indeed. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.